Hi, I'm Laura Orrod.
And I'm Jo Bannon.
And we are the BTech Performing Arts teachers here at Woking College. Welcome to your online taster session 2020.
I'm going to talk you through a description of the course and the course structure, and then we're going to take you through some practical work which we're hoping you will have a go at home. The BTech in Performing Arts is a 2-year vocational programme which is designed to develop your skills in collaboration and performance. And the focus is studying a range of styles, but particularly of physical theatre styles. This is taught through a combination of internal and external practical and written assessments, which I will tell you about in a little bit more detail. So Unit 1 is called Investigating Practitioners. A practitioner is any kind of performer, director, writer, or somebody who could be a combination of those three who works in the performing arts industry. So you'll study a range of practitioners in that unit, and that leads to a controlled assessment which is externally assessed. Alongside that, in Year 12, you'll be doing Unit 2, where you will be developing acting skills and techniques for live performance, and that will be internally assessed. And you'll look at some of the practitioners that you've been looking at in Unit 1 and exploring them practically. In Year 2, you will be looking at some more acting styles, and that will be in a unit which is internally assessed and leads towards a performance in a play. And that will lead finally to where all this is going, which is a group performance workshop where you collaborate with your fellow performing arts members for a piece of theatre which you devise yourselves, and that will be externally assessed. So what is physical theatre? It's a form of theatre which emphasises the use of physical movement for expression, as in dance and mime. But you do not have to be a dancer to do physical theatre. Some physical theatre companies are dancers who can act, but some are actors who can dance or who can just move. And within physical theatre, there's a wide range of things happening, from companies who use virtually no dialogue to those who incorporate physical movement into plays, which have many scenes with dialogue. So it's covering a huge range of things which a lot of people will be interested in. This is one of the theatre companies that we study. They're called Frantic and they're a key physical theatre company who base their movement on contact. These are some of the techniques that they use: hymns, hands, chair duets, learning to fly, and round by through. And we explore these techniques through practical explorations in lessons. So we're just going to show you a video of Frantic Assembly doing a chair duet with hymns, hands.
Created using simple building blocks. Start sitting facing forward. One person takes responsibility for placing their hands on or moving their partner. Repeat until the moves are clear and memorized. Now the second person takes over from between 2 and 4 moves. Once you've got this, repeat from the beginning until memorized. This is how we create a string of material. Keep going until you have at least 15 moves. You can then find a move that joins the last move to the first. Now the string can continue as a loop. At this point, don't worry about story. Don't try to be too fancy, just keep it simple. Just keep rehearsing it, keep it very, very simple.
Okay, so as you'll see, a chair duet a la Frantic Assembly is something that's done with two people. But we're going to adapt that, and Laura is going to show you how you can try this on your own at home. And we're hoping that you'll try this and maybe create a video and create some material yourself. Okay.
Okay, hi guys. So basically, with the given circumstances, it's really difficult to create a chair duet and do physical theatre with contact. So what we've done here is show you an example of how you can incorporate hymns hands in a sort of solo piece. Now, I'm going to play it through once, and then I'll play it through again with a couple of activities that I'd like you to be able to try at home. Okay? Okay, guys, so I'm going to play it through one more time from the beginning. And what I'd like you to do is, number one, to look at the isolated movements I've incorporated. I'll tell you when to pause the video and the activities I'd like you to try at home. Okay. So if you can see now, I've got 4 different movements. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and again, so I'm reaching out, grabbing my wrist, pushing my hands down, hitting it back over, and pulling my arm up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this will be a great opportunity for you now to pause the video. And what I'd like you to do is to try those 4 movements out. So again, that's extending your arm, pulling it in by the wrist, pushing the top of your hand down onto your lap, hitting that hand off down to your side and pulling your arm back up. So if you'd like to try that a few times, that'd be great. And we're going to continue. So now the next thing we're going to do is changing the pace of the movement. Okay, so the quality of movement I'm doing here is a lot slower than before. I'm really extending my arm, really showing some pressure then pulling it up. See if you start to see, begin to see a narrative forming in the changing of the quality of movement. Okay, so this would be a good time to pause the video now. And what you could do is practice those 4 movements, but with a slower pace. So really extending your body, reaching out, taking your time, slowing that tempo down and seeing how that makes you feel as a performer. Okay? So the third activity with the same sequence of movements will be looking at increasing the pace this time and seeing how different that makes you feel and seeing if a different narrative is starting to form with the movements. So you can see here in a moment, it will be sped up. That's it. So these movements are a lot more isolated. Okay, another time for you to pause the video and give that a go, and seeing how you get on with that. Okay, and our fourth and final activity with this is really starting to think about your character and what narrative and story you want this sequence of movement to be able to tell. So that is including stuff such as your facial expressions. Are you looking pained in the slow motion sort of elements of it? When it gets faster, does your facial expressions change? So really start playing around with that. I'll show you an example of what I've done and see if what you think my story is. There's no right or wrong answer here. So I'm really mixing up the pace of my movements as well now. So feel free to change it up how you wish. Okay, brilliant. So we're going to move on. Now, as you may have identified during that last activity, I was using a lot of terminology to describe my movements, and Jo is going to talk you through the importance of subject-specific terminology on the BTech course.
Okay, so on this slide you will see some words which we could use to describe some of the movement that you saw in Laura's video. Physical contact, gesture, space, facial expression, etc. And on the sides you'll see some verbs that we can use to kind of join some sentences up using those words. So what we would like you to do is, using this kind of vocabulary, we want you to do a written task and to send it to us. So using the terminology bank, describe Laura's movements in the 3 different approaches to the sequence of hymns hands. Then we want you to begin to identify a narrative forming through the movements in Laura's video and tell us how this is being communicated. Then we would like you to recreate your own hymns hand sequence using the example as a starting point. Think about the quality of movement and the story you want to tell. You can use your own music or you can follow the link. And then we would like you to describe your own hymns hands sequence, identifying what your movements might communicate to an audience. So on our final slide, we've also got some links to interesting resources to do with this activity we've been doing with you today. And when you do that piece of written work, we'd love it if you could send that to us, please, on the email addresses which are at the beginning of the PowerPoint. Thank you very much, everybody. We hope you enjoy that.
Thank you, and we look forward to meeting you in person soon.